my face. Hey, don't got time to waste. Yeah, I don't need permission, I'ma do it all today. Yeah, they just can't believe it, man. That's all they gonna say. See these plays up on my Spotify, that's money in the bank about my face. Hey, don't got time to waste. Yeah, I don't need permission, I'ma do it all today. Yeah, they just can't believe it, man. That's all they gonna say. See these plays up on my Spotify, that's money in the bank. Yeah, I remember back when they said I won't do a thing now. Shawty, why you talking? That's why you a flame. Ooh, did it by myself? No, I don't need a team. I told Famous and the Fire I might go and do that team. There I go, man, I tell them all what's up now. Oh, now they all wanna fuss now. Don't look around in the city, when I look around it's just us now. Man, they wanna kick you when I touch now. Why you in the D and that's us now? Talking about fam, you ain't cuz now. Calling me B, I got a buzz now. Yeah, now I got it going, I just no, it ain't just for the moment, I mean. Yeah, I bring the hammer, call me Thor. Yeah, I say my prayers, just be saying yours. You ain't know, I bet you know it now. Switching lanes, I can't slow it down. Doors will close, but they open now. Yeah, they call and think they notice now. By my face. Hey, don't got time to waste. Yeah, I don't need permission, I'ma do it all today. Yeah, they just can't believe it, man. That's all they gonna say. See these plays up on my Spotify, that's money in the bank about my face. Hey, don't got time to waste. Yeah, I don't need permission, I'ma do it all today. Yeah, they just can't believe it, man. That's all they gonna say. See these plays up on my Spotify, that's money in the bank.
By my face. Hey, don't got time to wait. Yeah, I don't need permission, I'ma do it all today. Yeah, they just can't believe it, man. That's all they gonna say. See these plays up on my Spotify, that's money in the bank about my face. Hey, don't got time to waste. I don't need permission, I'ma do it all today. Yeah, they believe it, man. That's all they gonna say. See these plays up on my Spotify, that's money in the bank.
Yeah, head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah. Feel like John Moran, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Moran, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, nah, I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it done like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drive the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And by every single weekday, guys, I mean every single weekday except for yesterday, because if you guys watched the stream the day before that, you will know that we were having some computer issues, which hopefully we have fixed at this point. We got the hardware monitor up here so Tony can watch the diagnostics and everything, all the CPU temps and all that good stuff that I know very little about. So hopefully we can keep this thing going, guys. We're even hardwired on the internet, so hopefully the connection is much better. But what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another amazing live stream. We got a great show for you guys tonight. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin. Could we see this little bounce that we've seen come to the upside? Can we see this continue up to some higher prices? I want to talk about those top targets that I'm looking at, maybe around $60,000 to $61,000. We'll take a look at those exact key levels of support and resistance. We'll break down the local chop that we have, but then I want to actually zoom out on the higher time frames, guys, and talk about where we could potentially see Bitcoin go here. I know a lot of people are getting pretty scared with this drop to the downside that we saw, but Frankie Candles is here to make you feel a little bit better, hopefully, or maybe scare you even more. But we're going to be talking about the bullish case and the bearish case, guys. I'll let you know which way I'm leaning, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the altcoins. Shout out to the CandleMafia. When I was putting that poll up earlier, I was going to say English or Spanish. If anybody's on Instagram or TikTok or anything, let me know if you know that meme or that joke about the guy that goes around and says English or Spanish to people. It's a pretty funny meme, but I was going to put English or Spanish, but I figured nobody would get it. But, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the charts here, but don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto, or maybe if we hit 550 likes on tonight's stream, we'll add some Frankie Candles hats to the giveaway tomorrow, and we will be giving those, we will be doing those giveaways tomorrow night. And don't forget, guys, if you have not seen the latest pre-recorded video, go check it out, because that is going to be the video you have to like and comment on in order to get that free crypto or free hat. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to the CandleMafia. We got Multi-Sig Dummy. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. We got B. Griffin in the chat. Coin Hoover. What is going on, bro? Yo, somebody said here for Mrs. Candles in the chat, bro. Here for the Mrs. Candles hand. But shout out to B. Griffin, Coin Hoover. We got Darren Does Things in the chat. Thank you for everything you do in the premium Discord with us. Shout out to Blood Wolf. We got Jeff in the chat. We got Jay, Crypto Kid, Mr. Ethereum himself. What is going on, guys? And don't forget to show our mods some love. We got Tony D, Captain Kirk, Grab the Crypto Snob, Chemistry Bro. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. He will be coming around again soon. He's got some stuff he's dealing with right now. But shout out to Chemistry Bro. Show the mod some love in the chat. And there is the link to that latest upload, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pin that to the top of the chat here so you guys can check that out. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. And shout out to Zero Cool. Hey, bro, I think you got a little bit of cool there, man. Shout out to you. We got Mr. T Crypto. And last but not least, we've got Harry Potter. You're a wizard, Harry. Anyway, with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and try to break down this price action. So hopefully we can catch the next move. Let's get into it. Sick. Let's get into it. All right, Stream Deck went down, guys. This was literally working 2 seconds ago, but luckily we just override it here. Shout out to Stream Deck. So Tony D, there's a note for the book. Stream Deck just doesn't work. It seems like a Stream Deck issue if I had to guess. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and jump on in here. Shout out to BRMC. Shout out to you. Harry Potter, yo. You're a wizard, Harry. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Retro Mike says, I'm a boomer. I don't know what this TikTok thing is you speak of. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech. I feel like I'm quickly on that climb to full-blown boomer. I wear ankle socks, which is apparently for old people now. It's the oldest I've ever felt. I thought ankle socks were the cool thing. You used to get bullied in school if you had knee highs on, and now apparently the ankle socks are not very cool. And also, hang on, I just saw this. Shout out. Oh, now the Stream Deck works. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for getting those 50 Frankie Candles memberships. Shout out to you, brother. And that was actually probably while I was doing the intro, so I didn't even see that come in. And the golden waterfall did come in. If you guys have that golden emoji, spam it in the chat. Also, spam it if you guys want Bitcoin to go up. Anyway, shout out to Golden Bro. Thank you so much for that. Sorry, I missed it. But let's go ahead and jump on into the charts here, guys. Now, obviously, we have gotten the drop to the downside. This is obviously old news. And Bitcoin has kind of just been bing-bonging around in this somewhat of a local range. So I want to kind of break down how we got to where we were, or where we are right now, before we try to figure out where we're going next. And obviously, guys, this is the range that we've been looking at, scalping the lows and the highs here. I actually did not take a long position down here. We talked about it in the premium live stream. I did not take the position. Kind of annoying because I would like to be in a long from down here, and so I don't have to kind of like hope that we come back down here to catch the long. But we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. I was in a short here from the high of the range. I did wind up coming down quite a bit here. We didn't get to that final TP. However, I have now, let me go ahead and bring that back up. I have now been stopped out of that trade as we came up here to simply swing fail this last high. We just came up, swing failed this earlier today, and then got the drop back down into the range. So to be quite honest with you guys, Bitcoin has basically just been sideways, bing-bonging around, even like a little more locally here. Very choppy, very boring, to be quite frank with you, no pun intended. But yeah, got stopped out of the short position on this SFP, and now we are simply back in the range. So we can still potentially look at this volume profile as our kind of guide to where price is likely to go next. If we can't get back above this POC, we could potentially anticipate a move down to this value area low. I wouldn't guarantee this move. However, if we did get down here, this would be a good place, in my opinion, for me to be looking for long positions, because we do have some confluence down here with some Fibonacci levels. You do have your golden pocket pretty confluent with that value area low. Let's go ahead and pull up that long. Bada boom. Yeah, so we do have this golden pocket value area low confluence, 786 coming in here at about $54,000, almost $600. Golden pocket value area low sitting closer to 55.7. And this is somewhat of an interesting level, guys. Not only do we have the golden pocket and the value area low, but if we pull up our daily horizontals here, we also have a fresh daily level down there as well. This doesn't guarantee that we're going to get down there or guarantee a bounce. However, if we did get down here, this would be kind of the next major area that I would be willing to look for long positions in order to potentially catch that bigger move up to higher prices. Now, again, no guarantees we come down here. However, if we did, that's kind of the area that I would be looking at longs. And then if we do wind up deviating below this volume profile, we could look for the move to that 786 before getting the bigger move. And the real question here is, I mean, the local range really hasn't changed, right? Obviously, I was not live last night because of the computer issues, but let me see here. What is today? Today's the 11th. Yeah, so, last time we were live, we were basically doing the exact same thing, just bing-bonging around. Now we're just rejecting the high here. But I do think that there could be a possibility of coming up to some higher prices here just locally. Not necessarily calling for 75K, but just locally, even if we do kind of pull back down here a little bit, I will be interested in longs for that bigger move up. And the reason for that is here, guys, if you look at money flow, we are starting to see money flow cross over into the green here on time frames like the 3-hour as well as the 2-hour kind of coming out locally here. VWAP coming back up, a little less clear on the 2-hour, but this 3-hour and the 4-hour now also coming back down. So this was actually looking a little bit better. Now it is coming out a little bit here, but that 2-hour money flow, or I'm sorry, 3-hour money flow starting to cross over into the green could potentially lead us to get that bigger break to the upside. Now, on top of this, guys, we do also have some other bullish signals popping up on the higher time frames. Now, when I say there are more bullish signals on the higher time frames, I want to be clear here. Money flow is still technically trending out. We have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to talk about the realisticness or the possibility of potentially coming down to this $51,000 level. How likely is it? It's very, very hard to put a statistical probability on the breakdown to 51 to 52K happening, but we're obviously aware of that level. If we do get the drop down, we are going to be looking at some long confirmations down there, and the money flow crossing over into the red, if we do get that on the 3-day, would be somewhat of a significant sign for more downside. So obviously be aware of that, but as you guys can see, we are starting to print a green dot here on the 3-day, which does oftentimes give us some kind of a move to the upside. Granted, it does not necessarily mean that we're about to launch up to new all-time highs, as the green dots indicate the ebbs and the flows in the market, where the money flow indicates the longer-term trend. So understand that. We looked at this on the 2-day. Obviously, as price was starting to come down here, we were saying, hey, if that money flow crosses over into the red, we could potentially see that bigger breakdown and the continuation of the downtrend, breaking our structure here, which is exactly what we wound up seeing, and we simply used money flow to anticipate that, as well as market structure. However, with this 3-day green dot looking to print, we could potentially see a little bit of a move to the upside here, off that green dot. Now, again, this wouldn't necessarily just be like straight up in a straight line. Like I said, we could come down to the bottom of that local range that we just showed. I'll bring it back up in a second. But eventually, this green dot could potentially push us up a little bit more, and we'll talk about those higher targets in just a minute. But we have to anticipate that this could potentially be just a lackluster push up to put in one of those lower highs and continue the move to the downside. But that is in the longer term, right? This is like the hardest part of my job, is trying to explain the difference between the time frames and how you should look at them contextually. But if we do get that green dot to push us up, we have to be careful of those lower highs to come in. But on the lower time frames, if we got to move up to, say, 60, up into this little range of consolidation, everyone's going to be like, oh, my God, this is the bounce. We're going to 100K, bada boom, bada bing, right? And that's not necessarily the case on the higher time frames, but it may feel very bullish if we get that big move up. But I want the Mafia to be aware that on the higher time frames, to be quite honest, like things don't look that great. The one saving grace that we have, guys, is we are not necessarily at the point in the 4-year cycle where we see some kind of massive bear market come in. So unless we got some kind of crazy black swan like we did in 2020, wouldn't necessarily expect some kind of crazy bear market to come in, right? This is typically what happens, in the 4-year cycle. This is, more the area where we see the 30% pullbacks, or maybe even a little bit more, are things that you want to be buying up very aggressively, right? Like unless the 4-year cycle completely breaks. I could be wrong, right? The 4-year cycle is not guaranteed to play out exactly how it has in the past, and we're going to take a look at the cycle chart in just a minute. But, we have to anticipate that lower high to come in just in case we see something that we've never seen before, and that high time frame money flow gives us the big dump to the downside. But locally, guys, if we do wind up coming down just a little bit more here, like I said, if we do get some kind of long setup down here, I do think we could potentially push up to some higher prices based off that money flow, and those local levels that I'm looking at are obviously going to be based off this value area low from this little area of consolidation that we had here. That value area low is coming in at about $60,300. Now, this is not the only thing that we have sitting here. We also have some confluence here with some Fibonacci levels pulled from the high to the low here. You can see the golden pocket is coming in pretty close to that value area low. And not only that, we also have some exo chart. Let me see here. We have an exo naked point of control, exo daily naked point of control sitting up here in this range as well. And we also know, guys, we talked about this on the last live stream, if we get a push up, where are those lower highs likely to come in? Oftentimes they come in at a golden pocket or a 786 retracement level. So these are going to be the local resistances that I'm looking at if we are able to get a bounce, even if we bounce from where we are right now and we break out of this range finally. Going to be looking for turbulence on the golden pocket value area low, this daily naked point of control, and that 786 retracement. And then, as we know, that lower high could potentially come in on that 786 golden pocket. But if we continue up, we simply have this volume profile to give us our kind of roadmap to where price is likely to go next. And you can see the 786 is beautifully confluent with this POC. So for the local chart, guys, this is what I'm going to be looking at. As long as we remain within this range, we can potentially expect it to be respected. And then if we do get that breakout, we could look at this volume profile as our guide above. But understanding that that golden pocket and that 786 may be areas that we could get rejections at. And then once we wind up breaking, in my opinion, above this 786, you still have the value area high just above you, but if we do break above that 786, guys, that would potentially be that first inkling that we could potentially come up a little bit higher, because that would invalidate the lower high of this local trend to the downside, and it would likely give us some kind of extra move to the upside where we have these other naked points of controls. Daily naked point of control sitting at 63.9, and then $65,091 is that weekly MPOC. And then at that point, you are getting pretty close to reapproaching. At that point, once you break above this value area high, you could be breaking into that larger volume profile above, which again could open up the door to more upside. But I want to remind you guys that, on the higher time frames, in the grand scheme of things, even if we came back into this range, to be quite honest, right, if we got back above this range, like this could be bullish, right? You could look at this, honestly, you could look at the reclaim of this level here, right, this low here, the reclaim of this level here could be bullish, right? Maybe we just get above here, tap that as support, and then we're off to the races. Money flow fakes out. We get a big move to the upside. But again, I would probably lean. I'll be honest, guys. I don't think the Mafia would be as upset about this as I would be. I just hope that we don't wind up just like kind of going sideways here for a long time, right? Because, when we go back to the summers, right, the past summer, this last summer that we had, it was a brutal, kind of move to the upside, move to the downside, and then we just grinded to the downside for what felt like forever, and then a big move up, and then we just grinded sideways forever, big move down, grinded sideways forever. At this point, it was September, but this was like, this was not that boring, but like this was very boring. This was brutal. And then like even this was very brutal before we wound up seeing the big move up. I just hope that we don't wind up seeing that happen again. But to be quite honest, I don't know if it's because like summertime there's like not as much volume. I don't know if this is a fact or not. But I don't know if it's like people are busy during the summer, so it's not as many people trading. I don't know what causes it, but we've already seen between March and where we are now, has been extremely boring. I hope we don't just kind of grind sideways here. It would be absolutely brutal for content. But locally, this is what I'm looking at, right? If we do get a big move to the upside, key level to watch is $60,000 or $61,000. I probably just call it. If we get above that level, we have a chance to attack the macro value area low, which, if broken and held as support, could easily give us a move into some of these other resistance levels. But again, on the higher time frames, we do still have to remain somewhat cautious, right? Doesn't mean that we can't long down here and make a ton of money on this move up. As you guys know, as day traders, as swing traders, as scalpers, whatever you are, we can make money not only whether the price goes up or down, but on any move to the upside. So even if this is going to be a lackluster retracement to potentially put in a lower high and continue down, we could profit off that move up. And if we get the more larger time frame, right, if we get the higher time frame move up into these key levels, remember, sometimes when you lose that value area low, right, price will come up and test that POC before just putting in a macro lower high and continuing to the downside. So we have to look at this somewhat neutral as we approach, in my opinion, right? Unless we get some kind of unless they cut rates or something, I don't really see. I really do think that we are kind of at mercy of that to see the big move to the upside. But if we do break back into this range, sure, we could still feel bullish about this, but we have to understand that lower highs are somewhat likely to come in. If we're going to get the retracement, those lower highs are very likely to come in at those levels, especially with this golden pocket and 786 being very, very confluent with the POC and these weekly naked points of control, right? So if we did see that bigger move up, we could potentially see strong resistance there as well as strong resistance here, and then also the value area low, right? So it doesn't mean that we have to short when we get up to these levels, right? Come on, there we go. It doesn't mean that we have to come up here and instantly short, right? If the money flow in the higher time frame starts coming back up, maybe things look a little better as we approach these resistance levels, then we may want to hold portions of the longs and then maybe just take small stabs at little short positions up here for pullbacks. But we have to understand, based off the higher time frame money flow, I'm not saying it's even necessarily likely, right? Because we are in a bull market, right? We're on our way up. The halving has occurred, which we're going to get to in a second. This is not necessarily where we start seeing 60, 70% dumps in the market, right? That does not happen usually in a bull market. Unless, at least it's never really happened after the halving, right? We obviously got the 75, I think, percent dump here during 2020. We all know what was going on back then. This was about 64% dump, but this was before the halving, right? We have broken the all-time high before the halving this time, right? So this time is a little bit different, but I'm going to show you guys the cycle chart in a second, and you will see how well history does wind up rhyming most of the time. So again, it doesn't mean we can't be bullish for higher moves up, but as we come up here, it's very important that you have to understand that you have to reassess the situation when we get up to these key levels, because if this money flow is indeed going to cross over into the red on the higher time frames, and we're going to see some kind of massive black swan event or some kind of massive dump in the market out of nowhere, chances are, whether it's news-driven or not, it is going to reject one of these key levels, right? So as we come up here, if we see massive bearish signs, the money flow is still coming out on the higher time frames. We just know that this golden pocket 786 and POC may be key levels where we are likely to put in a lower high and continue to the downside. And we've actually gone back in time and we've actually gone back in the past here to take a look at when this has actually happened in the past. And we talk about it all the time. It could happen on the daily, the weekly, the 5 minute. But sometimes I don't know if this was one of the you guys can see here we had this little volume profile range as we were ranging up here during the top of the first top in 2021, and then price breaks down out of that range, right? Very similar to what's happening right now. Price breaks out of that range, comes back up, and does what? It retests that POC before the actual breakdown. And I want you to look at what your money flow was doing, at least on the daily, right? Your money flow is about to cross over into the red on the daily. At this point, right, this is a perfect example. This is a really, really good opportunity for anybody looking to learn, how to use the volume profiles and how to trade these markets, right? We could look at this as a very, very similar situation, right? We come up, and you have to understand the sentiment here is mega bullish as well, right? Everybody thought 100K was incoming on a blow-off top, right? But if we pull this up, right, you have your value area high, you have your POC, you have your POC, bada boom, and then you have your value area low, right? So at this point, right, you range around. How long were we ranging around here? Let's see, 41 days, right? So you had a long range, very similar to what happened. Then we get the breakdown, right? We break the previous low, which is very similar than last time, right? At least locally, right? We break that low. And then we come up and do what? We come up. Everyone's like, oh my God, we're super bullish, super bullish, super bullish, right? But as we approach this POC, money flow comes right back out, and this would have been a beautiful place, right? Did we have the, let's see where that golden pocket was, 786, right? What was also on that POC, guys? Right on that POC, golden pocket retracement. And as we look at this coming up, we would say, hey, money flow looks like it's coming back out here. I don't know if that's what we like to see before a big blow off top. It looks like an area where I would be looking for a short, right? And we know that golden pocket or 786 may be where you put that macro lower high in before the big breakdown, and then boom, you get that big move to the downside, right? And if we pull up the 2-day here, let's see what money flow looked like, right? Money flow doing the same thing here. Money flow was coming to the downside. Obviously, our 2-day money flow is already in the red, which maybe puts us in more of a situation like this, but just to show you guys like how sometimes we break down these volume profiles, retest those POCs before a bigger move down. I just wanted to bring that up, right? Because that is somewhat of a similar situation. Actually, let me see something. What if we pull this all the way back here? Probably same thing. Even if you look at this as a larger range, right, which you could argue is a little more similar to what we saw, what we're seeing right now, right? That POC is still in the same spot, right? And this wound up being a 94-day range, right? Not a, not as brutal as this, not as brutal as this 100. Yeah, very close, right? About 100 days. Are we going to get that push up into the golden pocket and reject? All I'm saying is it is a possibility, and the only way to know is to wait for price to get up there and reanalyze the situation, right? So hopefully that makes sense to everybody in the chat, kind of the similarities between those two situations. But at the end of the day, guys, the 4-year cycle repeats more often than it doesn't, right? Not only repeats, obviously some things are different, but it oftentimes rhymes, right? History doesn't always repeat itself, but it oftentimes rhymes. So let me go ahead and pull up that cycle chart really quickly for you guys so we can kind of take a look at this, right? So I kind of removed a bunch of stuff off of here as I did just want to simplify things just a little bit. Didn't take all that stuff off. But, right, let's just zoom out here, right? Let's zoom out. Every halving, right, is typically the start of the big bull run, right? Now, let's zoom back here, right? It doesn't mean up and to the right instantly, right? I think it's a common misconception in crypto, especially with new people. They think like, oh, once the halving comes, we're just going to launch up to higher prices, which typically, right, in hindsight, in the long term, does look like what kind of happens, right? But if you zoom in here, right, you can see a lot of these halvings come with a lot of volatility, right? This one came with a 28% dump, and then you had a bunch of bigger dumps here, right? Even this one, this is a different asset back in the day, but 35% dump in the middle of a bull run. Bada boom, right? Another 40% dump in the middle of a bull run. Now, again, this is a lower market cap asset at this point, right? So it's a little bit more aggressive on the pullbacks. You're dealing with logarithmic regression as the market matures, as the market cap gets higher and higher. This is typically, you see less explosive pumps and less explosive dumps. This is just the nature of a market maturing. However, again, we take a look at this very often. Even back here, right? The last bull run, right? 22% dump. There are many, many pullbacks here in the middle of a bull market. 17%, even back here, right? And then famously, right, there's another 31% dump. People are thinking, no way that's the top for Bitcoin, is it? Right? But everyone just gets super bearish, and then we get another push to the upside. And then you finally get like the super scary dump, which was from the actual top around 69K, right, or 65K, with a 56% dump, only to come up and put in a double top and then dump down into the bear market. But the key here, guys, is looking in hindsight, right, having massive move, right? And I want to do this, and I want to show this to put into context how grand this market is, right? Like structurally, right? So this is not typically where we just see price melt down into a massive bear market, right? Like this is not, I would argue this is probably not where we're going to see 10K come, right? Obviously. So, pullbacks are not that scary in a bull market. Just understand that even if we came down a little bit more, nothing is really super scary. Worst case scenario, 51 to 52K, maybe even 48,000 in like a super, super bearish scenario. But even then, guys, I would think that we'd probably need some kind of a black swan to get us down to the low 40s. But not calling for those levels, right? But even if we did get them, I want you guys to zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. If you're panicking and you're nervous, just zoom out and take a look at the longer time frames, right? Like not often do we see, right? This looks like a little scary dump, right? Let's go back to this halving. This looks like a really scary dump. This looks like a really scary dump, scary dump, scary dump, scary dump. But over time, it is up and to the right. So, put that into perspective, right? Just like a little dip here. And again, even if we come down lower, it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to zero. We're kind of at the exciting point of the market here, which is why I am not necessarily, just sticking with my bearish sentiment. Like I'm not like 100% bearish, selling my spot bag, saying we're going lower. We have to be aware of those lower situations because remember, guys, we thought we sounded crazy looking at the break of this level, right? Looking towards that 51 to 52K level, and then a few days later, we came down to 53K, right? And you'll see all the bulls online like, no way, we're gonna break down below this low, and then. This is why you want to have those key levels of support below, because even in the premium Discord, guys, and in this live stream, we talked a lot about the volume gap that we had down below. And this is what I like to do for the Mafia, is kind of give you guys peace of mind that if you do see those dumps to the downside, you kind of just get control. Shout out to Golden, says, control plus, please, Frankie. Hang on one second. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat. Yo, shout out to Tony D, said, you guys know what Golden wants in return for all these memberships? To smash that like button. We are 150, not too shabby. Keep it going. Smash that like button, everybody, if you enjoy the content here. And shout out to Golden if you got a membership. Smash that like button, baby. Control Plus, is it can you guys not see the numbers? Is that the problem? Can't see the numbers on the right side? Hey, shout out to Andy Lee. What is going on? Hard to read the numbers. That's crazy. That's very strange. Yeah, sure, let's do it. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go. Hopefully that's a little better. Can you guys see the numbers now? That is very interesting because this is, those are my default settings. These are the settings I use every day. That's so weird that you guys can't read them today. Let's see. Bada boom. Okay, so let me continue to break this down. I'm going to come back into chat in just a second, guys. But let's see. Shout out to Krish, said, people on Twitter now calling for 30K. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Is 30K impossible, right? This is kind of the hard thing, right? I'm a trader, right? So whether we go up or down, I don't really care, right? My long-term spot bags, I am holding crypto long-term, right? But my day trading accounts, my scalping accounts, this is what I make my money actively from, right? This is my active income is trading, and obviously the business as well. I have other ways I make money, but you know, my active income from crypto is trading, and then my passive income is the longer-term investment. So I'm not panic dumping my spot bags right now. But 30K, I'll tell you what, right? The worst case scenario, if we got some kind of crazy black swan, technically, I'm going to come back to this because I want to finish my thought here on this local price action. I will come back to that because it's a really, really good point. Number one, the first thing I would say is if someone calls for 30K on Twitter and they say Bitcoin is going to 30K, you have to take that with a grain of salt, right? There is nothing that anybody on Twitter knows that you can't find out yourself, right? Maybe they're doing a lot of the work. Maybe they're doing the research, right? They understand the TA or they know the macro environment, whatever it is, right? They may have done the work or the research to come to that conclusion, but nobody knows that Bitcoin is definitely going to one number or another, right? And this is coming from someone who's an expert at reading charts and data related to where crypto is going to go, right? No one is going to know 100%. Is it possible to come to 30K? I would look closer to 36K because there are some really, really key levels down there. But that doesn't mean that we're going to call for 30K and say Bitcoin's going to 30K. Because what happens if you just say, I'm bearish, we're going to 30K? Well, if you don't have, this is why I always say trading is an if this, then that statement. You have to be open to both scenarios, right? Everybody just wants like, it's going to 100K, buy now, make $1 million. This is simply not how the market works. This is why most people make money, which is why I'm so honest and transparent on this YouTube channel to help the Mafia actually make money, actually be profitable, right? So I do just want to point out here, when we saw this move to the downside, right? And the reason I'm looking at these lower levels is because we don't know if price is going to come down there. The money flow is coming out on the higher time frames, but even then, if we saw all these confluences, we can't just 100% bet on that move down, right? But here's the reason why we keep these levels down at lower prices, right? This is why we keep our eyes on all the different levels, because if the move happens, in my opinion, one of the easiest ways to keep your kind of keep your cool on a big dump like that is to understand what is going on the chart, right? And now let's take a look here. When we look at this visible range volume profile, this is analyzing all of the volume within the candles that are visible on the chart, right? It analyzes all the volume transacted at each individual price. If you're new here, when we have high volume nodes, that when the spikes come out really heavy here, this is a high volume node. It means that there was a lot of volume transacted. The higher to the left, right, or the further out these bars come, the more volume was transacted. Very similar to your regular volume bars, right, that you Very similar to your regular volume bars that you see pop up on the bottom of your screen, right? A lot of volume here, a lot of volume here, not a lot of volume there, right? Same thing, but just kind of flipped and analyzing at each individual price rather than at each, candle, right? If that makes sense. So what do we know, right? You don't even need to know how this is calculated. All you need to know is the high volume nodes act as magnets for price, right? Price likes to go where there's a lot of interest. When you have these gaps, typically price will move very quickly through them, right? Because there's nothing holding you up, right? And I always like this because it's very visual, right? If we come down to this high volume node, right, well, very likely we're going to bounce off of that. It's very visual, right? There's a floor here, something to bounce off of. But what do we know about the low volume gaps? Typically, price moves quickly through those. So the reason we had these levels down here is because we didn't know if we were going to get that big move down to 51 to 52K. But we did want to prepare you guys, and if you remember back to the live streams back then, like it was a few weeks ago, we said, hey, if you lose this level, we even had it labeled as key, because if we lost this level, we knew that a big dump was very likely to ensue, right? Because why? Look at your volume. There is very little volume down here giving you that big air gap with nothing holding you up. There's no floor here. It's a big hole, right? So think about this as your floor. If you break below that floor and the next floor is all the way down here, very likely you're going to get a quick move down through that low volume gap into your next high volume node. And we often always say big move up, quick move up, typically leads to a quick move down. Now, again, we didn't know if we were going to get this, but the easiest way to remove your emotions from kind of panicking, oh my God, we're losing support, is if we break down here, we know that quick move is going to happen, and we know where we could start looking for support, right? The tip of the high volume node was at about 51, 52K. However, you could see here the shelf of volume did start at about $53,000, right? So let me just go ahead and mark that out, right? At about 53K. Just about, that's kind of where the shelf starts. You have these little high volume nodes here as well. But then what happens, right? The dump starts. Everyone's like, oh my God, where is this going to stop? And you wind up, you didn't come down to the 51 to 52K level, but you bounced off the shelf of volume at the start of that high volume node. And the Mafia, if you guys watch this live stream every day, we're not terrified, right? It's still scary to see the red candles, but you guys are saying like, oh, we're just falling through the low volume gap, right? Instead of paying attention to like, oh my God, bearish news. Oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, Mount Gox. Oh my God, like everyone's dumping their Bitcoin, right? You see this as like, oh, I knew that if we were going to, or I don't want to say no, right? We assumed that if we broke this level, we'd fall through that low volume gap, and you come right back down to that high volume node. And this is how you could kind of remove a lot of the panic from what you're seeing in the markets, right? And that is why then we came back in hindsight, and I was like, I thought it was crazy looking down in the into the lower 50s, and we wound up coming down to 53K. Did we hit 51 or 52? No. But if we do get back into this low volume gap, we could eventually see a tap of that level, which is why we're looking down there. So again, not necessarily calling for it to definitely come in, but we have to be ready if we do wind up seeing the move down there. So hopefully you guys learned something about a volume profile, or maybe how to kind of take away some of the panic when you get these big moves in the market. But let me go ahead and talk about that $30,000 level. I don't know who was calling for that on Twitter. I'm sure they did some sound analysis, but let's talk about it, right? In my opinion, here's a macro context. I haven't talked about this on the live stream yet. Here's a macro context on Bitcoin. We can pull, right? We'll come up to the weekly time frame, and we can pull, as you guys know, we have the macro volume profile. Let me actually pull up the actual chart here. I'm going to hide the XO naked points of controls. I'm going to get rid of these other random levels of resistance. Not random, but these other levels of resistance that we had. I'll hide this volume profile, and I'll also hide the weekly naked points of control. We'll get rid of that, get rid of this, and we will just start fresh here. Now, let's talk about that 30 or 36K level, right? Is it possible? Well, as you guys know, we were able to predict a beautiful move up here on Bitcoin based off of one thing and one thing only, and that is the macro volume profile. We had this bull market range that we created, and we knew once we hit our head and get back above that level, that was likely where we'd see the big move up on Bitcoin to fill the entire range, and that is exactly what we wound up happening. We even got the reaction at this POC on the ETF approval. We got the rejection and then the continuation up to the value area high. It's exactly what we expect on the volume profiles. It's why I love this tool so much. You break above the low, you start your journey. Next likely place for price to go is the POC. You expect turbulence at the POC, which we got, but once you break above that POC, it's very likely to come up to the value area high, and that is exactly what we wound up seeing happen. But we can use these levels, guys, right now and re-extrapolate those to see what price is likely to do next. And now you can see we got above that volume profile. This is typically where you like to look for shorts in the context of a volume profile, as this would be an overvalued asset, right? Price comes above the range. You would have been safe looking for shorts here. You get back into the range, can't get back above it, lose the POC, and then you go down to the value area low. And then we wound up losing the value area low to come into the bear market. But I want to talk about that $36,000 level, right? We can use this larger volume profile, pull it to our current price, and this is kind of that macro range, which is why recently I've been talking, at least in the premium Discord, that this $55,650 level is extremely key, right? Because if we break down below this, we could be breaking down into the macro range, right? Doesn't necessarily guarantee that we come to the value area low, but where is that value area low? It's sitting right at $30,000, right? And the reason I bring up 36K is because if we do bring it up, right, and I'm, again, not calling for these levels, but I'm just saying if we saw some kind of crazy meltdown, $36,000 is the macro golden pocket of the entire move up here, from the bottom of the bear market to the current all-time high on Bitcoin. That massive golden pocket is sitting between $37,800 and about $36,000. So this would make this an extremely key level of support, right? So could we see a move down there? I mean, who knows, right? But if we did, there are reasons to not only look at 38 to 36K, but whoever was looking at that $30,000 level, you could argue, right, if you were looking at this as a full volume profile. Now, you have to understand, right? You're not always going to go from the value area high to the value area low, right? This is where money flow analysis comes in. But with a 2-day money flow, right, that was looking like it's coming into the red. 3-day money flow looking like it's coming into the red. That's the 4-day. 3-day looking like it's coming into the red. If you were to get accepted into this value area, get below that POC, and then come all the way back down, I will say the value area low is sitting at about $30,000, but I would not be calling for that, at least as of right now, right? Doesn't mean that if we don't see a massive breakdown, things flip super bearish, we can't then look down there. So, yeah. I'm a big volume profile guy, so even if the person on Twitter calling for 30K is looking at the volume profile, I don't know if I would necessarily just call for it. But I would probably be looking at that POC, because just like price will lose a volume profile, like our range up here, just like a price will lose a range, come up and test the POC before breaking down, we could see something where we break above the value area, and then price comes back in to retest the POC, which is sitting at about that magical number between $47,000 and $48,000, and then see the massive move up. And then that's where your big move up comes, right? Just like in the beginning of the stream, we looked at this top here, remember? Just a refresher, right? We pulled this range, bada boom, bada bing, price broke down out of the range, came back up, retested the POC, and then got the big breakdown. If we saw something like that, but in the opposite way, right? Macro POC, sitting right here at about 47.5, 47.4, right? Maybe we break out, come down, test the POC, and then that's the big move up. Now, you can come up with these scenarios, endlessly. But, 30K, I wouldn't call for 30K right now. This is not typically right. That would bring us from the all-time high. That would give us a 58 to 59% dump. Has that ever happened? Not after a halving, I don't believe, right? But it did happen in 2020, where we wound up seeing that 65% dump on the black swan. That's why I say, if we got a black swan, that $36,000 golden pocket could be in play, right? Even the 786 could be in play, because right here, we talk about this all the time. I show this constantly on the channel. Back in 2020, we had the bear market rally of about 350%, right? We've been talking about this since like a year ago, longer probably. We talk about this all the time. But 350% rally in the bear market, right? And then you wiggle to the downside, massive dump right before the halving. But that dump, I mean, honestly, it was more than that from the top, right? Let's just pull that from the actual high here. 72% from the bear market high, bear market rally high. But this time is different, right? We have broken our all-time high this time before the halving. So this time is a little bit different, right? But it could rhyme. History doesn't repeat. It rhymes. So with that being said, when we came down here, what was the support that we bounced off of? Or wound up holding at least, right? Very simply put, at least on the weekly time frame, we did wind up holding that 786 Fibonacci retracement, right? And if we were looking at this in current time, I did not have my YouTube channel back here, but if I had a YouTube channel, you bet your bottom dollar, I'd be saying, hey guys, if we don't hold this and close the weekly candle above that 786, or at least hold it, you guys can see we actually didn't close above it, but we did wind up holding it. We would be looking at this as, hey guys, what would invalidate the macro high or low here? Well, if we break down below that 786 and can't get back above it, much more likely to break the bear market lows and come down to lower prices. But we wound up just by the skin of our teeth holding that 786. So technically, if we see that same exact thing happen in this cycle, let's just assume it's going to repeat itself, right? From the bear market bottom all the way up to the current high, which you would consider this a bear market rally, right? So we are in a different situation here. I want to be very clear about that. We have new all-time highs already. So, again, kind of makes it a little less likely for it to happen. So shout out to the bulls. That's a good news for you guys. But this is what we say, right? If price were to come down here, I really wouldn't want to lose the golden pocket. But in the macro, right, if we held that 786, potentially it could be a macro bounce, right? But again, and that's coming in at 27K. But, we are so far away from that. And again, based off the way this cycle is going, we have the ETF. Not only is this cycle playing out differently, we have massively different fundamentals, right? We have Bitcoin ETFs. We have an Ethereum ETF on the way. Many things are different about this cycle. So again, we can't expect it to repeat exactly, but just understand, right? Like scary things happen in the market, and you have to be prepared. If out of nowhere, right? If we woke up, right? We'll never know. If we get a big dump to the downside, guys, we're really not going to know. We're just going to wind up, waking up one day or sitting at our computers one night and just being like, oh my God, Bitcoin just lost support. Like, I'll never forget. I remember this dump here, sitting at my computer just being like, is this going to stop? This is dumping. Oh my God. Right. And you just don't know what it is. Like, even during 2020, it's like, you just see it happening and you're like, oh my God. And it's not until then where you're going to be like, oh my God, where's support? Oh my God. But if you have the plan ahead of time, you're just going to be sitting here and be like, are we about to go for that macro golden pocket? Are we about to go for that macro $36,000 golden pocket? Maybe. And especially with the volume profiles, we could keep a very, 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 very nice, neat roadmap to where price is likely to go next. So even if we get a bigger breakdown, again, that $48,000 to $47,000 level is going to be absolutely key, because if we do come down there, you could still get a bigger bounce. But once you start breaking below this POC and you can't get back above, the move to the downside is going to be more likely, in my opinion, which at that case, if you get a black swan event and we get a big dump, everyone's going to be panicking, right? But if you have these levels, the volume profile, the macro golden pocket 786, if you have these levels on your chart, you could simply be like, okay, falling through some low volume gaps. We got the Fibonacci coming up. As long as we don't lose that 786, the bull market could still be on. And then hopefully, you hold that level, right? So there you go, guys. I just wanted to zoom out a little bit, as Bitcoin locally has been, quite choppy here, just continuing to bing bong around here. But we went over the local earlier in the stream, but I wanted to zoom out and kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm looking at long term. And I want to be very clear, just because we're looking down towards 51 to 52, or maybe even $47,000, $48,000, does not mean that I am calling for it, right? It just means that, you want to be ready there, because that might be a great buy the dip situation. I would consider it lucky. I always say that in a bull market, like any big dump you get or any lower levels we're looking at, we kind of look at it as like, I don't know, we'll be lucky enough to get down there. But if we did, I'd probably be picking up some crypto on spot, right? Shout out to R. Schwartz. Thank you for grabbing that membership. Shout out to you, brother. But let's go ahead and continue on, guys. If you want to go, shout out to Ken Barkoff. What is going on? Shout out to Bragmore. Said, Frankie, can you give us a brief walkthrough of Market Cipher B? What are the key things that you are looking for on the oscillator? What does VWAP tell you? I'm curious how much you look at. I'm curious how much you look at it and everything, other than money flow direction, divergences on the momentum waves, and the green and red dots on the 4-hour time frame, and money flow crossovers on the 15-minute. Shout out to Bragmore, paying attention in the live streams. I love to see it, bro. Shout out to you. So I'll tell you what, Bragmore. I will tell you what, bro. Stick around. Sunday Sauce this weekend is going to be a Market Cipher B video. How about that? Because I will also shout you, if you check the old Market Cipher tutorials we have on the channel, shout out to Tony D or Cap or Tyler, or if someone could grab that link. This is it's an older video, but check it out. The information's still valid. I'll make an updated version for you, and I'll try to drop it on Sunday as the Sunday Sauce video. Shout out to Ken Parkoff. Said, I'm here every day and no membership. Shout out to Ken. Ken, make sure you're gifting. You have gifts allowed in your settings. You got to go to your YouTube settings. Maybe you've already done it, but if you haven't, make sure you have that setting checked off. But yeah, so let's Yeah, so check it. There you go. Shout out to Frankie Candles here, dropping that in the chat. Shout out to Tony D. I'll pin that to the top of the chat. There you go. So you can check out that Market Cipher B tutorial, and I will update you guys with another one. Hopefully, hopefully the computer doesn't, go down or something like that. But I'll try to get that out on there's 2 Market Cipher B tutorials. So there you go. Save those and watch them later after the live stream, and then I will try to make updated versions. We're about to we have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes here, guys. But we are about to very soon. We're going to be like hitting the ground running on a lot of content and a lot of stuff. More stuff behind the scenes, but we're going to update a lot of the new tutorials. I'll probably reach out to you guys, maybe in the Discord or on YouTube with some polls to give us like what you guys want to see, because I want to make the content that you guys want to see. If you don't want to watch it, we're not going to make it, right? It's kind of a waste. So, yeah, but shout out to you, brother. Hopefully that helps you out, those 2 videos, and then hopefully I can get that updated one out for you on Sunday. And I'm actually going to write that down, Market Cipher B tutorial. And then maybe we'll do it. We'll do like, I think one of those tutorials is Market Cipher B. The other one is Market Cipher A. Shout out to Walking Dead X. Thank you for all you do, Frankie. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for being here, bro. I do it for you, Walking Dead. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Caspa is my BTC this cycle. Well, shout out to Dimas. Yeah, shout out to Caspa. Caspa's done very, very well. Also, shouted that out in the dining room. Caught that one real early with token metrics. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, go ahead and drop your altcoins in the chat. We're going to start taking a look at some of the alts. I don't know if Rob is here today. I didn't see Rob. Maybe I'll just do some requests. I'll do some requests tonight. So shout out to the mods. Let's just we're going to freeball the altcoins here. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. I'm going to take a quick look at Ethereum here first. And here we are. So let's take a look here, right? On Ethereum, we have some spider lines here as well. You guys can see we came up, tested that value area low. So here's the thing with Ethereum, guys. Very similar to Bitcoin, right? We had the range here started in like late February, early March. We went sideways forever. And now we have broken down below that volume profile. We lost the spider line. We got the bounces off these daily naked points of controls. Shout out to the naked points of controls being super strong levels of support and resistance, but we got that bounce up, and what happened, right? We get the move up into this spider line, value area low confluence, making this very, very strong support, potentially an area to look for a short. And then if we pull our golden pocket retracement, bada boom, also coming in very close to that value area low. So I will say, right here, value area low, golden pocket retracement. Actually, I wonder... Yeah, kind of hard to, but yeah, the full golden pocket retracement of this entire move down would be sitting right here between, turn it blue, between $3,272 and $3,200. So this would be key resistance. Let me change that to shorts. Bada boom. Not telling people to short here. I'm just saying like this would be an area where I would be interested in looking for them. So yeah, this is key resistance. 786 coming in right here at about 3370. In my opinion, for the bigger move up, we got to get above that 786 and honestly crack this high here at $3,500, which is also just coincidentally the point of control of the range, which is that level we need to get above in order to open up the door to that value area high, right? So key resistance here definitely going to be sitting right here between $3,772 and $3,200. 786 again coming in at 3360, 3370, and then that POC is really the key level I'd like to break above to see the big move up or a bigger move up. But to be honest here, daily VWAP kind of looking to roll over, 12-hour rolling over, 10-hour rolling over, 8-hour looking for a red dot printing on your 6-hour. 8-hour looking for the red dot, 30-minute money flow on the way out. Oof. Yeah, I'll tell you what I would rather see here on Ethereum. Now, I'm not saying this is guaranteed to happen or anything like that, but with this 8-hour, right, could. Yeah, I don't think we have any levels down here, really. Let me pull up the Ethereum daily naked points of control. Bada boom. Let me pull up some ETH daily MPOCs here. Because I want to see if we have a naked point of control down lower here, which it probably isn't because I would have it marked out here. All right, let's see. Shout out to Captain said, just because I'm a biker, work at a jail, and carry a, I'm not going to say it on YouTube because I don't think they like that, although I do, and cuffs doesn't mean a thing. Shout out to Captain. Captain is not one of those people you want to mess with, I'll tell you that much. Shout out to Cap. Cap, what do you carry? Let me know what you carry. I'd love to know. But anyway, let's continue on. We can take a look at Crow. I'll write that one down, and we'll take a look at a bunch of alts here in a second, guys. But I just want to break down Ethereum really quickly here. One thing I will say is if we do wind up getting a bigger rejection here, what I would like to see is some kind of a higher time frame bull div 8-hour potentially setting us up for that. If you do get a lower low here, could be something to look at for a bigger move, but kind of hard to call right now, to be quite honest with you. The past couple days have been quite choppy. I think I mentioned that on the last live stream, but let's see those naked points of controls real quick. Okay, so we have one down here, $2,500. Let's see. Yeah, we already have that one on here. Yeah, so not a lot of support down below as far as points of controls go. Let me see if we have any weeklies on ETH. Bada boom. See if we got that as well. Shout out to Astro Zombie. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Said, love you, Frankie. More deep dives, please. Shout out to Astro Zombie. Yeah, it does seem every time I do a deep dive video, I think the last deep dive video we did on Bitcoin was when we were saying, when we were looking at this older volume profile, right? Or this larger volume profile. I think we were like right around here saying, so resistance, guys. Once we break that value area low, probably going to be a big move to the upside. I think that was the last Bitcoin deep dive we did, I believe. And that wound up playing out absolutely beautifully. But let's go back to Ethereum real quick. And let's see those naked points of controls. Bada boom. All right, let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot below as far as naked points of controls. So, that is, probably actually kind of like ruins my party here as far as the higher time frame bull divs. Yeah, like we don't have no monthlies. Yeah, we have no weeklies as well. Oh, God, man. We do not have a lot. I mean, you probably have some dailies in there. You got a daily level here, but that's pretty deep. Yeah, I mean, we bounced off this daily. No, actually, let me mark this out real quick, guys. This would be like, I would literally be like a fortune teller if this happened. This is like very speculative, if I'm being honest. But this is just a daily horizontal, right? So you just have a fresh daily level here. If we were, right? Oh, you also have a fresh daily level here, right? More locally. So if you were, yeah, okay, yeah. So if you were to get that bigger drop, right? Not saying it's guaranteed, right? But if you get that bigger drop into these two dailies, that does give you some stronger levels to look at for a potential bullish divergence on these higher time frames. Like even the 12-hour here, if you were to get that move, that 12-hour could give you that bullish divergence for a bigger move to the upside. And again, I'm not necessarily guaranteeing that, but let me see. We have the local weekly here as well. No, we caught that. Okay, yeah, so that's what I'd be looking at on Ethereum. If we get a bigger breakdown, definitely looking at the daily at around 2786, 2880. These are probably going to be the levels. I mean, we already tapped this daily, but this one's naked. So we did put the lower low in there. Could look for higher time frame bull divs for a bigger bounce up. Other than that, these are your key levels of resistance. Got to get back above that spider line, back above that value area low, golden pocket, N786. And again, that high up here, going to be key to get above for the bigger move up. But other than that, I would expect to kind of range around here. I don't know. Things are choppy right now. It doesn't look like we're, yeah, I don't know. Things are a little bit annoying right now, to be quite honest with you. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Feeling like Rocky Balboa. Shout out to Matt. Let's get it. But let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. How you feeling about WIF? We can take a look at WIF. We actually don't look at WIF very often, so I feel like we got to show it some love. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here. So that's what I'd be looking at on Ethereum. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, shout out to Wick 589. Hang on one second. I thought we had a super chat from Wick. I was like, I hope I didn't miss a super chat. Shout out to Wick. Said, can't tell us exactly where price is going, but you could give us a ballpark, Frank. Shout out to Wick 589 and shout out to all the ballpark Franks out there, which do taste different than regular hot dogs. I will say that. Shout out to Wick 589. Thank you for the super chat. And shout out to Creighton C as well. Says, let them call for 30K. They could chase and I could dump on them later. Shout out to Creighton C. I was thinking the same thing. So shout out to Creighton and shout out to Wick and shout out to Golden and shout out to everybody who is super chatting. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate it. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bing. Shout out to Mike. What is going on? Mike. Okay. Yo, shout out to Wick. Said, thank you for your good humor and keeping us around like a goldfish in your chat bowl, Frankie. Shout out to Wick. Oh, God, I love you back, bro. And sometimes, and there's Dave Digital. What is going on, brother? All right, let's go ahead and continue on here and take a look at Crow. Let's take a quick look at Crow. Bada boom, bada bing. Going to 0. All right, let's check out WIF real quick. Going to -3. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. It's a ancient joke at this point. But let's go ahead and take a look at Crow here. Maybe we'll even start on a fresh chart. Let's see. There we go. More price history here on the KuCoin chart. 2021 top. All right, here we go. Scamwick. Let's see here. Weekly green dot looking to print. That's not the worst sign in the world. Let me see here. Let me pull up some volume profiles. Get rid of the VPVR. Okay, let's see here. What are these set to? I believe these are set to months. Okay. All right. 11 cents. That was more for me than you guys. Sorry. Let's go ahead and continue on here. All right, so weekly green dot could potentially give you a push up here. We've already gotten a pretty big drop. And I'll be honest, guys, like if we're going to get another dump, the altcoins would, if Bitcoin is going to like move to 47K, 48K, not going to be good for the alts, right? Like the alts are going to absolutely tank if that happens, right? So I'm definitely not rooting for that to happen. That's the one thing, right? If Bitcoin did go down to 47K, that would like be very bad for alts, which again doesn't necessarily make the most sense at this point in the cycle. Like even here, right? December, let's see, yeah. So March 2020, or this was the summer. June 2020. I wish this was a longer chart. But yeah, like we got that bounce in March 2021. And then, yeah, it's kind of hard to say. But let's take a look here. I'm going to mark out some naked points of controls here on TradingView real quick. Come on, TradingView, you could do it. Come on, you could do it. No MPOCs. Let's change this. Bada boom. There they are. Okay, so key levels of resistance that I would be looking at, monthly naked point of control sitting right here at 12 cents. Another monthly all the way up here, which is very far away. And then your key level to the downside as far as the monthly MPOCs is going to be right here. And then let me delete this random fib that I copied. I'll get rid of that as well. Okay, so monthly. Let's check the weeklies real quick. All right, so we have some more local weeklies. So I'll mark these out to the upside. Weekly. Okay, and then you have a weekly down here. Let's pull up the dailies. Likely a lot of dailies here. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to mark out these dailies. There's a ton of them. Yeah, so I'll actually mark out these two dailies really quickly just because they're so close together. Daily, and then I'll mark it out as a range, right? So your most local resistance here, let's turn these off now. So now we have some like macro levels of support, right? Not necessarily anticipating to come back down to bear market lows, but who knows, as Adam has made a new bear market low. So, you know, not off the table just yet, but these are definitely going to be some key levels I'd be looking at to the upside and the downside, right? So if we pull our fib, let's pull it from the top here at about 18 cents, like even to the penny. I'll get a little more local here. Let's pull it from this local high, just checking some confluence here. All right, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to pull this one right here. I would be looking at this golden pocket weekly as a key level. And then you also have this 786 weekly right here. So these would be some key levels to the downside. Let me see the daily MPOCs here real quick. Bada boom. Could have sworn I just saved this as default, but I guess not. All right, so I'm actually going to mark out these dailies below as well, just because there's not much below us here. MPOC at 7 cents, almost 8 cents. And then you have another one down here coming from all the way back here, right? So I'll be honest, Crow is a little bit hard to chart here. Okay, so these are key levels to the upside. Can pull this volume profile as well. Now, I'll just leave that off the chart for now. Locally, let's take a look at this just locally. So yeah, this is kind of the local. These are local levels. I'm not going to try to predict the next 2 years of this asset. But yeah, I'm actually going to take this purple box off as well. And I'll just make these more local, right? A little more tangible, if you will. So there you go, right? This daily naked point of control, and just this volume profile in general is going to be kind of that next massive, or most important level of resistance, right? Because if you do wind up coming up here, you do get the bounce, right? You get above that value area low, right? This is where you can look to potentially kind of bing-bong around in that range. And then if you break out of here, that's where you can look for the bigger move up to this golden pocket weekly naked point of control. Because if we go ahead and pull up the visible range volume profile, let's see what the volume looks like up here. Come on. I guess there you go. Okay, yeah, so yeah, not a huge fall off in volume, but, not as much as you have up here. So that's kind of what I would look at as far as local levels. Really, to see a bigger move up, I would like to see a cross of this daily naked point of control at about 0.09047. And then, I mean, obviously you can look at the volume profile down here. Let's pull this fib real quick. Maybe something like this. Something like that might be worth looking at. But let's take a look at Market Cipher real quick. Green dot printing on the 4-hour or confirmed on the 4-hour. Let's check that 8-hour. Ooh, baby, look at that. If this prints and goes, that is usually when you get these close dots to the zero line. Oftentimes you do see a bigger move up. But let's see here. Yeah, 10-hour green dot. Yeah, so if we do push up, these are the local levels I'd be looking at. Look to get back into this range, break out of that range. I'd be looking to come up into the 10-cent range. No real clear divergences. Is there a daily bull div here? Yeah, you kind of had a daily bull div down here. Not the best, cleanest look. But let's see. Shout out to Tony D. Said, not sure how many spots we have left, but we do have a promo going with Blowfin right now. 50% cash back bonus. Max bonus 25. There you go. So shout out to Tony D. Thank you for bringing that up. Actually, we had, I don't know how many spots are left either. Kind of thought Tony was going to know that. I don't know if there's a way to tell. But yeah, shout out to, if you guys have not seen the leverage trading for beginners tutorial that we dropped yesterday, go check it out. It's also kind of like a Blowfin tutorial. If you guys are looking for a place to trade with no KYC, I know a lot of people are having trouble getting on exchanges. You can check out Blowfin, link in the description, but definitely check out that video as well as I show you guys kind of, leverage trading for beginners. I explain what everything means. And yeah, not only 100 spots left. I wonder how many we have left. But yeah, shout out to Tony D. Thank you for bringing that up. Also, guys, if you do sign up with any of our exchange affiliates, you will get access to the dining room, which is our freemium section of the Discord, where we put free premium TA or trade setups free for once a week. Or not for once a week, but just once a week. So there you go. Definitely check that out. If you're gonna, or just so you guys know, if you're already signed up on any of our affiliate links, you can get access to that. So if you don't have access to that, you might as well get it, because you don't have to do anything. You just have to put your user ID in. Go to the Discord. You'll see the directions in there. But let's continue on. Yeah, shout out to Wick. Wick, I think you actually sparked the idea. You sparked that idea for that video. You are the reason we made that video. Because yeah, we put the poll up, and Tony let me know. He's like, oh, Wick asked for a leverage exchange tutorial, and that was literally how that went. So shout out to Wick. Thank you for doing that. That's why we're going to start reaching out more to you guys with polls and stuff for the content, because I want to make sure that we're making stuff you guys want to see. So there you go. So much sauce, so many technicals. It's hard to know what to talk about for sure. Yeah, shout out to Curtis. Let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to Edward. Says, hey, Frankie, what are your pre-setting at top DLMNV? How did you create those? Am I having a stroke? Oh, shout out to Edward. I know you're talking about these presets. Well, shout out to you, bro, because the next video that was on our list before we talked about the Market Cipher video, the next list or the next tutorial I was going to make was a trading view tutorial where I actually will show you how to do this. These are indicator templates, right? So if I want no indicators on my chart, I just hit 0, right? And then I have no indicators, just my analysis, right? But that is no indicators at all, right? L is Lux Algo. By the way, guys, shout out to Lux Algo, a channel sponsor. Don't forget to check out the Frankie Candles Essentials Indicator, 100% for free. You can go get it right now. No barrier to entry. Just click on it and use it for free. No strings attached. You can check that out. But if you want their premium indicators, check out Lux Algo. Link in the description down below. You can save some money. But there you go. This preset is Lux Algo, right? And I have my little, all the stuff that I like to have on and off, right? And then if I want just Market Cipher, I click here, and that gives me Market Cipher B. If I want my, volume profile preset is here. This gives me all my monthly profiles, etc., with the VPVR and Market Cipher. And then the N here is for naked points of control, which I have to fix. I have to change this to rows and save it as default once again. It's because I keep using the preset. I have to actually resave the preset. But anyway, these are my naked points of controls, right? So I'm looking for monthly naked points of controls. I just hit the N, right? And then, I want to see the VWAPs. Bada boom, right? Volume and VWAP. And then I get to let's check out the weekly profiles. Actually, I don't think this one's finished. Did I finish this one? I don't think I did. This is I could delete that one. No, I did. So there you go, right? This just nice little templates, makes it nice and easy, and I will make a tutorial for that as well. But check out Lux Algo, guys. Free 30-day money-back guarantee and a channel sponsor. So if you like Frankie Candles, you should love Lux Algo. Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend and David Brumbelow in the chat. Shout out to David, says it's pretty bad when a major cap coin smashes through major multiple years of fib and plummets down through and week below 0.0 fib line, and I don't think it's done. I'm looking for the 0.085. Shout out to David Brumbelow. Let's go, bro. Good to see you in here. Hope you're doing well, brother. Let's see. Only cost $27,700 to get out of Algo. Oh, are you saying to sell Algo at Algorand at a loss, David? Oh, no, please do not lose 27.7. That would not be fun. Shout out to Mike. But let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. And let's take a look at Whiff real quick. I know we had some requests for Whiff. Bada boom. And let's take a look here. Bada boom. Thank you for putting that link in there, Tony. I appreciate you. Best menu out there. Let's go. Shout out to Mont. All right, let's see. Okay. Let's take a look at the daily on Whiff. Yeah, so swing, change of character, right? Here on Lux Algo. Whoops. Bada boom, bada bing, right? Swing, change of character. Now, market structure is not guaranteed, right? But it is a statistical probability, right? This is not just like some magical indicator. This is based off market structure, right? So it's a real thing. It's one of the things I like about this is it'll actually teach you market structure and price action. But anyway, let's take a look here, right? Why am I putting dots all over the chart? I'm trying to get rid of the oscillator. Okay, so we have a swing change of character here. This is not the best sign, right? Because now we are likely switching from a macro bullish trend to a macro bearish trend, right? You're changing from bullish character to bearish character. We already had a little bit of an internal changing character here. Now, what do these do for us, guys? This basically lets us know that once we get that bearish change of character, you are going to be much better off looking for shorts at lower highs for the continuation down, right? Short at the lower highs for a continuation down rather than hold your longs for higher prices, right? This is why a lot of people lose money trading. They don't understand how to be on the right side of the market. They see a green candle, they get super bullish, and they're just like, oh my God, long, 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 and then they get wrecked. Oh my God, long, 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 then they get wrecked. But what we're able to do is we're able to capitalize on these little moves to the upside while understanding that the lower highs are likely to come in. And where are those lower highs likely to come in? We say it every single day here on the channel, and that is at the Golden Pocket 786 retracements. And here you go. Look at that local retracement back to the downside, right? We could even see if we can... let's pull this local fib as well from the high to the low. Where'd the lower high come in? Right in that golden entry zone. Bada boom, another move down, right? But that change of character lets you know that your bias is going to be bearish. Doesn't mean you can't scalp the moves up, right? Which we do all the time, right? We'll catch $1,000 here and then make the big money on the way down. But it's important to understand, what side you should be favoring, right? And this is how you can do it. So you got a little local change of character here, but this is a swing change of character potentially pointing to more downside. So could be a potential possibility there. So yeah, that doesn't look the best. But let's see here. Let's pull up the weekly. It's hard with Whiff because there's not a ton of information here. Maybe we could find a chart with a little bit more price history. It's a little better. You could clear that old TA. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is you have some clear... Yeah, you have a clear volume profile up here, right? So you have a clear higher time frame VP to look at for context, right? So you got value area high, MPOC value area low. I mean, yeah, it's like you can't make it up, guys. Like, not only did you get the rejection here on a golden pocket retracement, but you're also looking at that, or 786 golden pocket 786 retracement, kind of the same kind of golden zone here. However, I mean, look at this. You had your value area low up there as well in perfect confluence. This is 100% where you would look for the rejection, right? Just technically. Same thing on Bitcoin. We look for the retracement into the value area low, and that's where the lower high came in. And we talked about all this on the live stream before it happened, right? So keep that in mind. Make sure you smash that like button, and you are subscribed to the channel. But as of right now, this is, we are kind of in the danger zone in my own personal opinion here with WIF, right? Now, why is that? Well, very simply put, what we talked about earlier in the stream here were those volume gaps. High volume node, right? We're sticking on that high volume node, but once we lose it, your next high volume node is down closer to $1.25. Down below that, closer to 80 cents, 62 cents, and then your real volume doesn't pick up until down here, this consolidation area, down in the 47 to 50 47 50 cent range, right? So with that being said, it doesn't mean that you're just going to, nuke right to that level, but it does make these lows very, very important to hold, in my own personal opinion. So yeah, I would probably look at this $1.30 as a key level, as you do have some kind of support down here as far as volume goes. And the reason I like to use the volume levels, guys, is because it is not based off of a drawing or anything like that. It actually shows you where the volume is traded, right? So it's like a legitimate level. So there you go, right? Or I'll actually change this to blue because it's support. So yeah, gonna want to watch that. And then see, 89 cents. That would be another level I would be willing to look at. I'll actually make this a range as well. Bada boom. So yeah, these are going to be your bigger macro levels to the downside. Let's pull up the monthly. Bada boom. Bada bing. No monthlies. No weeklies. Oh, God. Not a lot of confluence here, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, I mean, just look at that gap. I mean, definitely looking at these. I would actually look at this as a weekly MPOC. This would be another key level in the long term. Not saying that we're going down there necessarily, but more locally, I would be looking down here. But let's pull up Market Cipher real quick. Are you starting to form some kind of a range here? Maybe. It's kind of wonky, kind of gross. I wouldn't be personally looking at that, to be honest. Can't delete this. Come on, go away. There we go. So yeah, this zone down here between $1.30 and $1.19 is going to be the next major level of support I would look at. Major resistance to the upside remains that macro value area low at 238, 239. You got to break those highs, these highs, and get above that value area low to see a bigger move up. But other than that, let's pull up the daily real quick. Yeah, slight daily bullish divergence. Kind of hard to call here. There's no real setup, to be quite honest with you. That's a tapped. Yeah, hard to read WIF right now, to be quite honest with you. No clear money flow direction, no clear anything. Other than the higher time frames looking bearish. Money flow on all the other time frames is confusing. Hard to pick a direction on this, but those are the key levels that I would be looking at, to be quite honest with you. Kind of wish I can give more here, but there's not much to look at. So there you go. There is WIF. Let's see. Bada boom. Bitcoin will die. Going to 53. Enjoy your short. Shout out to Best Fitness. Let's go. Let's see. Bada boom. Bada bing. Smash that like button. Okay. People look like it's gonna explode now. Shout out to Rickson. Hey, explode up or explode down is the real question. For the Stankfangers, shout out to Wick589, those nasty possum Stankfangers. Shout out to Wick, let's go. Solana for the win. Let's go ahead and check out Solana real quick, guys, because Solana actually is looking somewhat interesting. Let's see here. Bada boom, Solana. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Solana still basically in the same situation that it's been in, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, Solana's still just kind of chilling down here at the value area low, still holding that value area low in the macro, which is nice. You have this daily naked point of control, which remains strong support, sitting at about $125. So we did wind up coming back down. You'd want to hold that. If you can't hold that MPOC, could potentially start that bigger move down here to $109 to $101. No guarantees on that. However, definitely going to be the levels down below. But, I'll be honest here, guys. The other night, Solana looked pretty bullish. 16-hour money flow coming to the upside. Sure, you have a red dot printing, 12-hour red dot printing as well. Check out that 45-minute money flow. No real confluence there, to be quite honest. But yeah, your 8-hour money flow is about to cross over into the red. Yeah, I mean, to be honest here, like as long as you remain above this value area low, Solana could continue to be bullish here, looking for a bigger move to the upside. But once you lose that daily naked point of control, that's your key level of support. Lose that, probably going to get a bigger move down. But yeah, I would look to remain within this volume profile. Honestly, Solana, I'll be honest, guys, it's a boring summer, right? Like I know we got to move down on Bitcoin, but like in the grand context of things, like things have been pretty massively boring recently, right? Just kind of ranging around. Solana's been in the same position since June 16th, right? Like as we came down to the lows, like you've just been going sideways for almost a month here. Money flow starting to trend back in the right direction here. So again, if this money flow continues up and we are able, even on Bitcoin, and we are able to hold the lows, I do think you can get a bigger move to the upside. But again, things are just not the clearest right now, just kind of indicative of sideways, boring price action. So with all that being said, guys, I think, shout out to Billy Goattail, said Joe Mama. Shout out to talking to Wick. Shout out to Billy Goattails. And yeah, guys, don't forget to check out Billy's new book. Billy Goattails. My phone just fell out of my pocket. Go check out Billy's new book, Billy Goattails. Let's see. Went from interesting to boring real quick. Yeah, I mean that's really what we're dealing with here. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. I was talking to some people earlier this week. I think me personally, I think I am partially jaded from being in crypto so long and just looking at the charts so much. I'm jaded, right? Like even this whole pump up, not the pump up, but this dump down, this is all pretty boring price action, right? Like zooming out here until we broke this low, that was the most interesting thing that we've had happen. Other than that, it is bing-bonging around in this range, and then we lost it. If we get back up in here, like who knows how long this could remain boring for, right? Like we might range around down here, get back into the range around. To be honest, I am looking closer to September. Right, I do think we are at kind of mercy of the Fed cutting rates to get a bigger move to the upside. This is obviously consistent with the pumps in Bitcoin, right, and in the traditional markets. The only other thing I can see, like as an unexpected scenario, obviously the stock market, it got a little pullback, but the stock market has been on an explosive move to the upside, which is not going to be sustainable forever. Like the only other thing I can possibly see is, we go into a big recession, the stocks come down, very likely that would cause a big crash on Bitcoin as well. However, if that is the black swan, we go into a big recession or we get a big correction in the stock market, maybe people, the fact that we are at all-time highs here, right, or we just put in all-time highs and the stock market is just absolutely yeeting to the upside, maybe we see people start to take profits and then move it into crypto. But if we wind up getting a big meltdown or a recession comes in, or here's the thing, guys. It's an election year. Election years are typically bullish for markets, right? We're also with where we are in the 4-year cycle. This is typically where we see big moves up on Bitcoin. Now, again, am I just going to hold that sentiment and just be like, we're going up, 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 4-year cycle, 4-year cycle? Absolutely not, right? There's a lot of stuff to take into account, and I focus mostly on the charts, right? I don't really pay as much attention. Like, that's the nice thing about crypto is it's a little less tied to the macroeconomics, right? With the stock market and like Forex, you're dealing with like all these policy changes and countries and all this stuff that moves the market off of news. But with crypto, it doesn't react as crazily to that kind of stuff. It kind of just like moves on its own. It does react to that stuff as well. It's also open all the time. But that's why I stick to the charts. But one thing I can see is like maybe people take profits and put it into Bitcoin, or just crypto in general. But hard to say. This is not going to be sustainable forever, to be honest, right? So we'll have to see what happens. But other than that, guys, on Bitcoin, we'll see. Let's just do one more check-in here on the old Biddy here. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, just kind of ranging around. If you wanted my local analysis, scroll to the beginning of the stream. You guys will see it. Maybe we come down a little bit more here, but I will be looking for longs potentially based off the lower time frame money flow, such as the 4-hour was trying to go in the right direction. 3-hour looking to cross over into the green. VWAP rolling back up. Maybe we get a continuation to the upside. But with all that being said, guys, and there we go. There we go. Okay. Stream Deck broken again. It works sometimes. It doesn't work other times. But with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Hopefully we can get something to happen here. Get some more interesting price action, something to talk about. But with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Shout out to Crane T. Shout out to Wick. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to Captain Kirk. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Billy Goat Tails. Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. David Brumbelow. The Biomex in the chat. What is going on, bro? Creighton C. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Right here. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Frank Candles out. Bing bong. Didn't work. Stream Deck's broken, guys. Stream Deck's broken. Tony, come on over. All right. Hasta pasta. Bing bong.
Look, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Yeah, just order. Yeah, a quantum computer. Call NASA. I don't know, YouTube, OBS, TradingView, ExoCharts. Call NASA, get the quantum computers, order them all. Let's get those. That's okay. I don't care how much. We'll go into, I don't care. Let's get it. I want to be able to fly a spaceship with this computer. Let's go. Okay, you're going to build it. I knew, yeah. I know it. Yeah, you probably will build it better than NASA. Okay. All right, thanks, bro. All right, peace. Oh, God. Oh, come on with this computer in the Stream Deck. Guys, Tony D is about to make a custom quantum computer, which is probably going to be the only computer that can handle these live streams. I'm going to have to send him the credit card. Anyway, with all that being said, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong. All right, Tony's going to have to make a super quantum computer. That's all I got. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy. On the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah.